water or looking at a pond. If you sit, at first you think that's just red with a black blob above it. If you sit here, colors start moving in and out. Purples appear, things move, and you think, oh, I didn't really see that, but something shifted. And you'll find that there's particularly in the middle one with the reds and the purples and the darks, that there's a movement of color as though, or a fireplace. It's kind of like watching a very quiet fireplace, perhaps the embers at the end. But in his later years, he went to completely gray and black and white. And there's a chapel in Texas that he did, that the entire chapel is done in moods. And you go inside, and the mood is set by the paintings, the spiritual movement. Rothko was very particular. He liked his paintings. He wanted them hung low to the floor so the viewer could be at eye level. He wanted to create an environment. And many of you may know the story of the Seagram's restaurant. There's a play about it called Red. He was commissioned by I forgot the name of the restaurant, but the
Four Seasons.
I'm sorry?
Four Seasons Hotel in New York.
Thank you, Four Seasons. And he painted this whole series of, most of them were at least the size of that center one, to put in the restaurant. And he worked on this for 3 years. And then they were pretty completed, and they said, would you like to see where your paintings are going to hang? He went and he saw tables, chairs, people walking around, busy, people eating, chatting. Now, his paintings would be interfered with. People couldn't get back and stare and look at them. He kept all the paintings and returned the money. He refused to give them the paintings. We had 3 of the red ones from that, and there is a play written about it now that was in Washington for some period of time. People couldn't believe it. I mean, he had this huge commission, and he was so concerned about what happened to his paintings and the effect that they had that he returned the money and kept the paintings. But you can see he was he unfortunately killed himself eventually. And when you're painting in gray and black, that I think is. But here you see those magnificent color fields. He wanted to set an environment. He wanted to create a mood. And Jackson Pollack was known as the action dude. And this is, if you're ever impressed, just go into I did not take that. Jackson Pollack. Now, Jackson Pollack, you may have heard this story somewhere similar. He named this painting number 1, 1950. His dealer came to him and said, Jackson, you can't name it number 1, 1950. Nobody can relate to number 1, 1950. They won't buy your painting. Have we heard that before? So his dealer named it Lavender Mist. There's not a trace of lavender in it, but lavender mist. Jackson Pollack was born and raised in the West. His parents belonged to an ashram that was run by a guru that was
I'm watching it. Don't worry. Thank you.
He believed that painting should do. And he said, you need new techniques. The modern painter cannot express the feelings in the old forms of the Renaissance or any other advanced culture. We don't know if he saw out west or at the Museum of Modern Art, where he was born. The Hopi phenomena, not Hosanna. When they have rituals of an illness or a peace or something, they do beautiful paintings on the ground in colored sand. There was a demonstration of it in the 40s at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. So he might have seen a picture of him I'm not supposed to tell you this, for among many groups, he was known as Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper. He did not use tube oil paint, because if you bring tube oil paint into a series of tubes, he used auto body paint, he used wall paint, he used metal paint. You can look at this and you can see this. Now, the amazing thing is the thickness of the paint over the surface of this canvas is amazingly consistent. It's the same thickness almost every time. The density. Now, he said when he was doing this, putting it on the ground, he said, I feel nearer, more a part of the painting, since this way I can walk around it, work from the four sides, and internally be in the painting. There are also cigarette ashes, leftovers, pieces of sandwiches, and a few other things left in this painting too, but we found and one poor cockroach is in the wrong place and the wrong. But we don't know. As you can see here, he is in the painting. You see what we have here is a row of his handprints. And up here is another handprint. We don't know whether he did that on purpose or whether, when you put your hand down and you want to throw something into the center, you put your hand down to balance yourself. It could be it was part of the process of painting, or it could be he simply said, I'm going to be here in the painting. But this is the action. Well, of course, eventually people, the viewers, said, boy, I'm sick of this film. He said, I am sick of emotion, action. Look, colors. Get up the works of artists. I want to see something that is relaxing, easy to understand, and I can tell what I'm looking at. So what do you think?